Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a community night race, guaranteed to satisfy even the most devoted loot goblins. We'll talk more about that when we get into the flags. First, I'm Commander Leonhardt. I'm here with Dathis, and I just lost it when I looked at Invenerable's naming scheme. How are you?
I am very good, especially since I just met that sister, as a matter of fact, very recently. I've gone on the Hades
Oh,
train
to
as well as
Tiffany.
everyone else. Oh man. But yes, this is
It's
in fact
Zagreus. Can you say
Zagreus, right? This
Zagreus?
is this is in fact a flag set after my own heart. It is T Wildish. That is the good stuff in there. It is Find Yourself Some Dark Matters, which it is a great little hunt we have going on there. As well as we have a fair few different objectives. This was random 4 with Pass and Dark Matter. So we have Baron Castle Basement, Town of Monsters, The King, so Leviathan Spot, Magma Key, and Agart, and the Twin Harp. So we have possible required music tonight. And Tybalt is kind of very much as my mindset in these kind of flags. It's like you could spend the time and loot, or you could do the other ones, or you can just loot all the things and feel better about yourself.
Also, hi, I'm your.
This is our gift to the free enterprise community.
I'm going to interrupt as your friendly restreamer here because
Give in to the loot goblin.
I want to point out something. I want to point out something real quick, y'all. Inven's naming scheme is also because the goblin language is the word myrrh. That's the only word in goblin language, so he is very much a loot goblin tonight.
We have been told in our ear by our fabulous restreamer, Zoya Million.
That was live to the channel, don't worry.
Oh, well then. I can't. I'm used to restreamers being silent like myself. Anyways, we got some goblins. Fabulous. We also want to give a good shout out to the duo tracking team we have of Nth and Aegis, who are going to be keeping the list of Dark Matters up to date for everybody, so we know who has what of that lovely objective.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun tracking job. That's off to both of you. Best of luck. Yes, Antidel, yeah, the Dur at the end is definitely also a tap to Tisiphone, but also the Goblin. Very good combo naming scheme.
But yeah, let's get a little bit more into the rest of the flags. We've spoken about everyone's names. We have ourselves a Telestart, which is probably one of the better ones to have if we have to do a grind eventually to get through a really rough boss spot. Tella's going to get us through there. Plus, you go up Hobbs and go up Ordeals, and you've got a fair powerhouse of a mage as we're off.
And also, with looting being so important, having early exit to get out of places quick will be nice.
Speaking of looting, there's an Earth Crystal and a Sylph Summon in that opening thing. We also have a Blue Robe. One of 2 fights that we don't know what it is. It's maybe that's that alt gauntlet that we all love to see, or maybe that's the Water Hag getting there. Well, we're going to find out later. But we have a Sylph Summon going with the Kydia that we have here. A good reason to actually keep her up, since we don't have to fight or deal with slingshotting her for Smarlness.
Yeah, no Z fight here. Just have to get your objectives and call it a day. Not often you see that, but it's gonna play out well. Seems appropriate for such a loot goblin theme to start off with a party rock.
Indeed, and we've also got a little bit of divergence. We have Invenerable going right away, it looks like, to Troya, going to be turning in that Earth Crystal, whereas we have Xenocat, Tybalt, and Poidrak all looting in the Baron area. So we are, in fact, going to get to play our favorite game here, after he loots the opposite side, of course.
A little bit of a fake out there.
Absolutely. And as we see, we got a Dark Knight sitting in Baron Inn with a Cagnazo in the first spot. Probably one of the nicer spots to find him overall. Low HP means that wave isn't going to be scary, so a very scary boss and not a scary spot, as we are about to do the favorite part of our night. And rating this treasury, this is a Cecil at a 10 right there. That is a crystal sword. That is a power shirt. That's get that Cecil. He go brrr.
Oh yeah.
And for saying there's no Cecil guaranteed, he's sitting in Baron having a nice little drink with Nazo. So depending on what that second boss is, we might have ourselves one heck of a time.
Right. That could be wonderful. I'm a fan. You know this. Also, even
absolutely
progression.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. That is a fantastic treasury to be truth be told. And also there was a Mirasame there, so if we do see an edge, I mean that's not even in the treasury adjacent. So that's some really, really nice stuff as we see on Tybalt's screen. This entire place is just like wonderful. And a Dragoon Spear we see on Poidorak's side in Mist. Yeah, and we find ourselves some melee characters. We got all the power we're gonna need this seed.
Welcome to the T-Wild, where all the treasure chests are the same, and they all have the potential to be awesome.
And all my dreams come true.
As wonderful as that treasure was, it was simply a collection of 18 treasure chests that could have been anywhere.
It's very true, but I mean, just because they could have been anywhere, it is nice that high density. So we see that. I don't even remember how many dark matters we saw in there. Regardless,
I just saw one.
I think it was only a couple.
We know Inven has one at least.
Yeah, so it looks like it was just the one that was in there, according to what I'm seeing on Tybalt's screen. Also, he's making very good use of that R discard button, and as you see, until you leave, you can actually, again, recollect things. He's like, okay, maybe I don't want this, because Team Wildish does have that problem where it's like, you can get too many things, and you don't know what you want to grab, right? So it's like, your inventory gets bogged down, and with that S empty, shops having absolutely zero value, you kind of don't want to be like, oh, well, I need to hold on to this for money or this. You're actually just like kind of going, what is my good items right here? And that's about all you're looking for.
Absolutely. Still just in a heavy loot phase, which we'll probably see a lot more of that with this race. I mean, one objective is going to require, 2 of the objectives require looting, and with us having to do 5 out of 6, at least one of them is going to get knocked out. 30 dark matters or the pass in Detroit, because the pass is
absolutely. And again, it's a nice change of pace because we've seen so many tournaments lately and such. Like we just finished off with the Threema Zone, and even then prior to that, the Football Gauntlet. We know that a lot of it didn't incentivize looting for a majority of the parts, so this is just like a good time for us to go back to what the really basics of RPGs are, in my opinion. It's, yeah, we have those great stories, and we have this, and we have this, but we also have the loot. I'm here for the loot. Also, I'm also here for Invenerable side. Do you see what I saw? There was a power robe on that teller right there.
I mean, you know, why not? Let them have a little fun. Flex a little bit.
Absolutely. Power, and bonk with that staff. He's going to take care of a spoony bard if we ever see one. That's for dang sure. But we have our runners kind of diverging now. Or not diverging, converging. That's the word I'm really looking for. Around this watery pass and Damsian area, because we went from some of the divergent spots to probably one of the more loot-heavy areas in the watery pass / Damsian. It's a fair bit of a hike, but it's also the second most, I believe, treasure-dense area that doesn't have trap chests. So we've got the outer area, we've got Damsian, and then we got a little bit of Damsian proper. So there's, 12 chests here in Damsian in and of itself. So very dense for anything.
Yeah, it's a popular looting location, especially on a balanced set like this, where you don't have some areas better than the other for exactly the reason you said, density.
And we see on Xenocat and in Ven's screen, they have the rafts being raised. In Ven going a little bit different. We're going to see what the summon on Hobbs is through that, whereas Xeno's taking this flagship instead. And we have a free Odin tonight. So multiple summons being given for free.
If you're gonna have Rydia along, then I sincerely hope that you've got some summons for her, because that's her main claim to fame over Palom.
Absolutely. Palom learns Quake soon, but sooner than any other mage. But Rydia, if you can get those summons for her, like Sylph does just such really good utility that you kind of don't need a white mage for the majority of the part. You can take her and bring her with a whole bunch of DPS, and on lower fights, you got that. And again, paired with the Leviathan that Cat, Poidrac, and Invenerable are all showcasing right now, she can also throw out some really great damage. So she's the most versatile, really, character that we have in the randomizer, in the sense that she DPSs, she heals. You get Asura with those really bad rolls. She can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and the final option for her we have as well, because one of the last chests to be picked up in the watery pass was a heroine robe. So you can give her a bow and arrow, or if you're really lucky, a nice whip, and she can lean on the physical until she's got enough MP to start churning out those summon spells.
Absolutely, and we see one of our first bosses, Lunar Sparkle. That's a wyvern. You're happy to see him out of the way to get this quack kid. Rydia gets it up because of that heroine robe and reflects it. Next, no damage taken by her. All a good time.
Nice and clean. You get the MP to start casting Sylph, figure out, as you say, another rude boss. This is the sort of boss spread you might like if you were anticipating something longer and more involved. You see Wyvern and Kainazo out of the way, you don't have to worry about facing them on the moon, but this flag set might be leaving the moon alone entirely.
Yeah, and we see the little bit of the issues we have on the Invenerable side. Sotelo went down, had to use a life potion to get him up. Those are very, very valuable items here. You only have an extremely limited supply. Once those are gone, if you can't get a mage up and you don't have a cabin, you're kind of like yeah, we do have the inns, but it's time spent that you don't need to.
Yeah, it's an interesting little wrinkle of S empty. Not too worried about using the shops to equip characters with key wild on and everything happening, but just those items that you're used to buying in bulk, you just don't have that option. Like you say, you're going to be very conservative about spending them.
Exactly, and we see that, again, it's the amount of MP that Tela has is more than he needs. We have everyone kind of doing the same thing, picking up that Palom and making sure that Rydia gets walled up. Tybalt unfortunately eats the Mega Nuke, so he has a little bit of the issue there, but I'm pretty sure he's going to go through and get it done again, whereas Invenerable exploring through this cave here, and we're going to get a look at a boss really soon, as he's got that Artemis and Archer switching over to the Muke to get that back row glitch on Rydia.
Still keeping the heroine robe on, still wanting the speed, also the casting boost from the Mute Knife. Interesting.
Actually, Mute Knife is not the one that gives you the wisdom boost. That is I believe that's just the dancing dagger. Mute Knife is just mage weakness, as far as I remember. And Inven confirming that the boss that handed us the key item was in fact the Alt Gauntlet, as here is our Water Hag.
3 strikes, you're out. That's how you deal with the Water Hag.
And this is just showing that I haven't done enough of these runs. Everyone is confirming that the Mute Knife does have the wisdom. I have it backwards.
Yeah, Dancing Dagger is the beautiful one that you use as an item early on when you just can get your DPS going and say, here, I have 300 to 400 damage. I don't care what my
and is then part of those vanilla strats, which I'm always a fan of some level of vanilla. We have a little bit more divergence while we have the convergence. Tybalt and Xeno hot on Inven's heels, while Poidrac is going new ground and he's seeing what's at the full defense. Whereas Invenerable rewarded only with a Dragoon Spear.
Well, we have a Dark Knight Invasion. Continuing tonight's theme of potentially rude bosses in really soft spots.
Indeed, and instead of going for the waiting strat, just let the 3 waves go off, actually going the damage-wise. So we're going to see a little bit of a knockout here real quick.
Sylph is what's carrying it. That's going to take a while. And also with Rydia, you see that Rydia's actually bringing MP on that Sylph spell. Sylph glitch is on, but Rydia's in the center spot. And that means that the Sylph will cost MP to cast.
Indeed. And Lord Goober, not only is it the Sylph to heal, but I believe summons can trigger the damage script. Again, I could be super wrong. I've been proven wrong the last 5 minutes, and I'll continue to be proven wrong forever. And with the comment there, so apparently it is only the fight command that does trigger it, which makes sense because that's the only thing that Paladin Cecil can do.
Nice. Good way to get through the heals and accept the speech. And then getting through the same time, using more of an approach to keep one person alive and toss a life potion at the end. But whatever gets the job done. Quadrak.
Also,
First look.
And Luzukio.
Magma Key.
Ooh, there's an objective right there.
This is not the time to fade from Ghoul.
Absolutely not. This is not what you want to see when it comes to this. Also, Water Hag on Tybalt's side, kind of giving us conflicting advice, needing you to fight and then don't. Which is it, Anna? Do we fight or do we not?
And Invenerable tangling with the rudest boss of this flag set, which sure a lot of our runners will be tangling with as well, dumping 8 items into the Magma Key window.
Absolutely, and it has been a minute since we've seen a lot of these runners kind of fight the inventory boss. As I've said, people kind of shy away from looting, but this is where looting is very incentivized. And again, we're still working on filling out our team, so it's what do we keep, what do we dodge, what do we take it. Hey, remember that Cecil that has a crystal sword and a power shirt? Why don't we just toss a Zeus Gauntlet on there while we're at it? Just give him
casually hanging out. Just casually hanging out in the full throne room. Why not? Go for it. We just needed an Avenger, and that's probably just sitting in a Chocobo forest somewhere.
My bet's actually going to be at the top of Ordeals, just because why not?
Oh, valid. Got my last crystal sword up there. It's great.
Xenocat plowing through the boss in Miss Cave. Gonna grab these 4 chests. Rewarded immediately with the Dark Matter, which is very nice. So that's always something you do enjoy seeing. Loot here is half decent. Again, it's nice and together, so it's okay. Plus, we might also get that. Yep, we're gonna get that yellow exit. The only place to see it here.
Depending on how you feel about that, that might be thankful. Hey, another sparkle in an early spot. Hey, have a plague you don't have to fight at all.
That is actually really nice to see, in my opinion, because I like seeing Plague out of the way, because it's not a boss you want to see in a rude spot. It's not a boss you're like, here. It's a boss who's like, you're just around. We can deal with you later with enough berserks.
Yeah, and we've been talking about this trip up Ordeals. Don't want to see Plague in that Mylon Z spot. You're going to have a bad day.
Yeah, if you can get off a Reflect quick enough there and get some revives, you're going to be good.
And then taking the trip underground with the Magma objective. Meanwhile, Poidrak taking the walk up a Mount Ordeals, as we've mentioned. And Xenocat chucking and bearing in. Is Jowdwar for Loot Goblin?
Are we going to get the check?
And then gave us Murmur Goblin language for his names, and now maybe we can get a translation.
Wonderful. It was nice when stuff like that happens. And yes, we have Inven checking that, seeing some decent loot, and then he's gonna give us the look of what is in Feymarch, because those could be some fun, easy bosses, or those could be probably the rudest spots in the seed.
Yep, and one of them is an objective. So it's definitely worth a look.
Speaking of free bosses, we have a free one at the top of Ordeals, King Queen Evelyn. This is a spot where you kind of are okay with not seeing a free boss, because this is a fairly low HP, low physical, medium magic spot. This is like where you want to see some of the more, maybe a rude boss or something, but with what you're seeing here, it's kind of like okay to find something here.
Yeah, the dangerous spot is the second one. This one, as you say, doesn't hit very hard at all, and the third slot is just very low on HP, and even if it is something on the dangerous side, you can usually punch through it before it gets going. I dare say Inven has moonveiled this warrior.
Yeah, he threw up that. He 100% threw up that moonveil. Don't blame him. It just makes it safe to go and check all these chests, and with as fast as Rydia is, no reason not to. That does, however, burn yet another one of his life potions, or he can just take the time and recover up in the Fey March.
Yeah, given how critical that life potion supply is, I would expect him to leave them on the ground. Just not really chasing the heavy XP here, just trying to get through this.
Absolutely. We also see a boss that you kind of don't want to see back here. We have Octomom as the back attack spot, and this is a pretty quick spot, and if it can get off some attacks, we saw it hitting Pella for almost 200 damage. Even with the back row and some pretty decent armor, but enough J items, and we make very short work of it. Never mind. I'm not saying anything about that. But good fight.
Just not enough hit points there to survive the electric assault.
Speaking of assaults, Invenerable has washed away some warriors, got another power short for his troubles, and followed by Dragoon armor. So we got some very decent tier loot here in the Fey March. I think we've seen maybe 2 Dark Matters in this entire section.
Something like that. We got a lot of them early. Probably if our runners were on the fence about whether or not to chase the dark matter objective, getting this far along with it, I think, answers that question. So maybe we...
Oh, hello, Valvalis.
So, good news, Valvalis is here and not where that Octomom is.
Indeed. Also, only guarding a crystal, so you don't really need it, because you don't need the double XP, I don't feel. Also, additionally, this is a spot you can go, you know what? I can leave here and be okay. Whereas you're really need the spells here. And as we see, this is the high magic defense area that led to doing only 1 damage. But her rest of her stats, nothing to scoff at, not even hitting that weak other one. And even Paladin bonking for some okay damage.
Yeah. And Rydia with the bow and the arrow and rope gets the job done. Hear it out. Walk away. And Lord Goober making an excellent point that a life staff was found in Antlion, and that in a pinch that can be used for an in-battle revive. Ugh. Demist at the King of Monsters spot. I personally, if I'm running it, just pick the objective I don't want to do.
Well, yes and no. Remember, that is technically 2 key items gated right there, or 2 key item checks. You've got the Demist itself, you've got the boss for the objective itself, and then you've got the key item that could be back there. You could have another one of the objectives gated back there. You could have Baron Key, we could have the Twin Harp back there. So I mean, it's somewhere. But to be fair, you get your group of team members. You get Cecil with some decent armor. He could just wall that fight for you.
True. Cecil cover strats will win the day there, and compared to some other bosses there, at least Demist will spend some time in mist mode, giving you whatever time you need to recover.
Yeah, that's the reason why I don't consider that like the scary spot, because you've got so much room to work with there. Also, Venerable already cracking an egg. Gonna get a little bit bonus XP before going maybe and grabbing that Cecil if he wants to.
And bluff on Myrrh suggests... Oh, and a stop for good measure. Almost. So then that last arrow gets the job done.
Yeah, we see 4 or 5 levels gained all around. 8 on the Palom. That's Quack for the kid. He is fully online for what you need him to do.
Where to now? You've sussed out the Demas. You know that's waiting for you. No. Duel or deal? Where do you go, Inven?
You
set
set
up-
up Bull because we got that Sheila 1 check, so no reason not to do a quick check-in of that. Because again, that's another quick key item, and go from there. I'm still surprised no one aside from Poidrac has gone to this Baron fight, gets in the Malzamune for it, and really the big goal here, that's Cecil.
Yeah. Well, Poidrac is also the only person to have cleared ordeals. Cecil can be a bit of a liability as a Dark Knight unless you've got a Black Sword. So you might be seeing our other runners converging on Baron once they clear out Mount Orleans.
Which we did find a Black Sword. I believe I saw it in Antlion Chest, Antlion Cave. So there was a Black Sword to make him a viable damage dealer. Not great viable, but maybe just enough where he can pretend he's there. Whereas Invenerable, getting us a look, that's a Luca key. That's another key item chain that we have going on there. Whereas Poidrac going to be doing some looting here in the MCM finally. While Tybalt and Xenocat getting themselves some paladins and some spells.
But soon we'll be seeing Cecil go burr, and it will be ludicrous.
And really, we've seen enough times where Cecil's been put on the back burner, or we've seen Crystal Swords and no Cecils, or Cecils and no Crystal Swords. I'm here for the nice little happy marriage. This is Looter's Delight and DPS Delight.
No vanilla agility here, keeping our Cecil down. He just gets to go nuts. I am also here for it. Oh, we've got a moment. I say thank you to the crew working on this behind the scenes. Athos is here in the booth with me, and it's wonderful. Aegis and Nth are our trackers, splitting up the duty because there's dark matters in addition to all of these key items to keep up with, and Zoe Vermilion is handling the reach streams, keeping it all together, giving us the show.
Exactly, and without Zoe and without them, they are the real runners of the show. You and I, me and her, we just get to sit here and gab and watch people do things.
You just get little bits of fun. Oh, we had that bit of convergence and then divergence, and now Invenerable is going to head up to Tower of Stop. Some looting over there. Besides that, Aegis is worth going back for, and that is a solid shield. For magic defense, it's about as good as they come, and you don't mind that mage resistance either.
Absolutely. I mean, it does a whole lot of everything that you can use. And additionally, that it also gives you, I believe it's Petrify or Instant Death, or I could be thinking of the 4DS version. So many different versions, so many different resistances and weaknesses.
It does protect against stun. You are remembering that correctly.
Also, and as we see, everyone's getting their crystal sword. Everything's going burr. Invenerable, though, the only one who's kind of blazing a different trail by comparison, doing Zot. And we're going to get a look at the characters up there, because that could be where we find our edges hiding. And double Mirasame edge, that's something I'm 100% going to be here for. Mind you, he's only got the one right now, due to the simple fact that we only got the one from the treasury. The other one is from where we get that Cecil, but still a fair amount of loot here in and of itself as you're going up. I think that's at least one dark matter, maybe even two from this spot, so kind of worth it to check the chests here.
Zoom Waffle in chat noting you haven't seen Zot looted in so long. You're going to see just about everything possible looted tonight in the search for the pass and the dark matters. But also, if you tune in Saturday for our legacy race, the flag sets there are going to encourage dive into that Flame Dog chest as well.
Yet another sparkle, yet another boss you don't mind seeing in a spot here. We have a dragon, we've got some Artemis arrows. This is Pale Dim. This is a spot where 9k HP isn't really anything to stand up to 2k arrow hits.
2k, just like that. Pale Dim knows where to put the slow, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Also, Virus being nice and non-elemental is safe to use against Pale Dim. No risk of a counter there.
Absolutely. Just counters with the slow, so just taking his damage, taking his beats, gonna be down really quick here. Whereas we have Pudrak gonna be getting the Dragoon Spear, and Xenocat finishing up in Fool with 12 here. Hey, there's the edge I was talking about, and we see that we have a set of guards sitting in the Goldes spot down in Dwarf Castle. So we have a Mute Knife and we have a Mirasame. He can kind of cover what's needed, as well as we've got an Ice Claw and I believe a Fire Claw, only missing the Thunder Claw of Best Claw.
Best Claw indeed. Awesome Morpheus showing off the deep knowledge that we can steal life potions now from the Eagles and the Cockatrice, and we have Vanilla, Rosa, and Zot.
I am very much here for the Vanilla Rosa, but this is a squad you really enjoy getting from the top of this tower here. You've got the full moon on edge now. You've got Rosa able to throw on a heroin robe and just anything you want on her. Like the Archer Bow, Artemis Arrow, we see it right here, and she's just gonna be. You may not have Crystal Sword Cecil right now, but you going burr.
Yeah, no, this is. I love my Crystal Sword Cecil, but I will not dispute that this is a perfectly valid party that Invent's got here.
Absolutely, this may be. I'd say toss the Quack Kid or even Kidia away for the Crystal Sword Cecil on his side, and you kind of got the makings of a really good team. Speaking of rude bosses that you don't mind in other locations, we got an Evil Wall here at the top of Zot. Knocks down Rosa, and Edge is going to throw the very, very seldomly seen thrown ninja star.
Yeah, that's normally an insta sell at a shop for all that money, but you can't do that for anything here, so you might as well throw it in a rude wall's face.
I mean, you could do it for, you could absolutely do that for asserting dominance over the seed. But we see the Evil Wall. Actually, I called it like a bit of a joke of a fight, but it's kind of putting some work in here.
Yeah, we're going to be saved by that back row Edge with his starting equipment is really a bit strong for this location in the game. So even if the wall was not going to take Edge down in time. But
oh, it's not even starting equipment. He's using between the full moon and the Mirasame.
Yeah, he's using
got
that for damage.
so much damage right there.
But like on defense, he's gotten an upgrade from a black belt to a power shirt. But other than that, he just had his starting bandana and silver gauntlets. But it was enough to where he got hit for less than 100.
Yeah, absolutely. Edge is one of the great characters with his high level, his high HP. He just is one of the nicest characters to find. He can pretty much take care of that area on his own. That's a nice little double there. We have ourselves a Pan. Go down, get the Sylph Summon, and as well, go back to Sheila and see what she's hiding behind Sheila too.
Yeah, so if this Pan turns out to have any kind of progression, then this Hot Dive is looking even better. Inven's not going to keep Cecil on the bench for too long, looks like. Or maybe he's just here to loot. Nope, here we go.
And that Samurai Bow, yeah, makes Samurai Bow, Artemis arrows.
Yeah.
You've got yourself some damage.
It's going to be rude.
Speaking of rude, Radiators drain some HP. Down goes the Kainazo, and we're gonna get that look of the Mylon Z, who is very much not going to be long for this world.
And why Sylph when you can Vampire and it's that much quicker?
And we have a little bit again more treading. Tybalt getting that loot down there in the Latest of the Monsters. Poiderak throwing down his Magma Key, and Xenocat going right on Inven's heels and going to be getting that Pan from the top of the tower after fighting some bosses who really aren't going to want to see Crystal Sword Cecil.
No, it's Cecil go burr. Cecil go burr.
Tybalt doing a different strategy we see on there from the trap chest. He is doing the Hourglass. The only problem with that, as we see here, is the Hourglass stops their current actions, but it doesn't prevent the ones that are already queued up. So he does take a wipe, unfortunately, as opposed to what the Moonveil strat would have done.
Yep, one of those subtle little wrinkles of an Hourglass that all learned and relearned from time to time.
I know I've been on the receiving end of, I was like, oh, this will be fine, and then watching my party get beaten by dark elves, or dark imps at Leviathan.
Stabby imps. Yeesh.
Oh, they shouldn't do enough damage. Oh, there goes my team.
Casually going through a Baron infight, and they show up in the second slot, and I can go, I'm gonna murder your face.
Oh, man, that's when the murr comes out.
Getting some loot out of Dwarf Castle for Poidrak, another spot that you don't see people dive into too often. But we got to find that dark matter.
Not only that, but we're also still looking for the pass, because that is one of the. It is not a key item. It is in the treasure chest this time. So we have a lot of incentive to be looting these chests. It's two objectives that are kind of hidden behind them. And we see Invent making use of one of those two black swords that we see here. Finally going to be climbing up ordeals, and he is going to make extreme short work of the bosses up here.
Yeah, and he chose to keep Palom and let Tella go. And, you know, we know Invent loves Tella life, but I do get it. When you're without a Zeromus to go after, you're maybe less worried about having that perfect center anchor, and you've got lots of magic options with all of the other characters in the seed.
Absolutely. And once Rosa gets to Cure 3 levels, she's got more than enough healing to keep the party alive for pretty much anything. She'll get Blink soon enough to the point where she becomes, like, basically Tella light in that aspect, so that's perfectly fine. And again, getting through these fights is going to be super quick. Speaking of fights, we have the first fight in Dwarf Castle. It is the Dark Elf. That's not a scary spot to see him whatsoever. Whereas Tybalt going to be taking on this, it looks like that was Bahamut?
Not gonna lie, I missed it.
Yeah, I believe Bahamut was in the Queen spot. Yeah, Bahamut's here. A fight that you don't mind using some walls, which you can have Tella do, and some of the flex spells. So you've got really good ways to get through this fight pretty quick.
Cecil laying down the lumber with that crystal sword. 2 walls up for the Mega Nuke. I think Bahamut's going down without another Mega Nuke. Damage we've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. Quad 9, Cecil throwing out 2.5k damage right there. It's yeah, this is what you're looking for in this fight. The only way it could have been better is if Tella had gotten off a Berserk and then a wall, that could have guaranteed Cecil would have been fine. But as we see here, everything's perfectly fine, and he gets through that fight pretty easy peasy, and gets the lesser tier Holy Sword.
Well, if he ever gets around to going up Zot, he can throw that in someone's face.
That was always my favorite thing, doing through vanilla runs for fun, duplicating the Excalibur and just watching Edge go burr and throw that instead.
Yeah, so pre-Enterprise, we get to have a lot more fun with some of those tricks, and for anyone's money, nothing beats throwing a stack of spoons at everyone's face, turning Edge into the Blue Raja.
Oh man, absolutely. If only we had Dupe and we could find the spoon and we had Edward, that would be a great time. But yeah, we have Inven up here. He's found himself with Avalos. Knows that it is not going to be very long for this world, as Rosa herself almost puts it down in a single hit. And then Edge hopping around with 1300.
All done here.
And now, for the latest in Dwarven fashion, Pointrack with the report. French vanilla key, can we call that one?
Luca looking very stylish in the tower key regardless. Not the normal key that she's holding there, but we'll take it. Open up another location. Somewhere out there is a twin heart that says, I'm an objective. Tybalt, in the meantime, though, is going after that Deepest, trying to get his own objective taken. Oh, Poidrak, show us that chest lore. Show us that deep chest lore.
A secret chest dark matter called by our resident art wizard.
It has the dark matter! Beautiful!
That's what you like
see
to
it.
see.
Dwarf is just
going through the deep chest too. Oh, and another one. Wow. That forge holding all the dark matter.
And that dwarf was jealously guarding that second dark matter, but Poidrak's persistence gets a hold of it, and he says, "You know what? Can't keep me in here. I know exit."
Zeno going through the last bits of the fight on the evil wall, gets through that, gets there on Pan, and we're gonna get a look to see after that. Whereas Tybalt going bold and looks like he's still fighting that Demas right there.
Would you like another heroine robe? Because go talk to our foreign language teacher and loot that robe, and there you'll have it.
Alright, and as we see, we got Xenocat throwing down the Magna Key. Poidrak is going up the Tower of Babel for Lower Babel, and Invenerable is bonking Yang. We're going to see what the first Sylph reward is, which is a Stardust Rod. Not a key item, but a good item for that Paladin to have, so it's pretty good right there.
Yeah, not gonna complain. Not at all.
So the really nice thing about Poidrak finding a Thunderclaw too, that actually makes this place even better here. So that means that any one of the searcher chests we have here, I was like, I wonder how that's going to handle. Not very hard, considering a crystal sword, Olivia Asame, but we do have that ability as well.
Do love to see Thunderclaw. Let's claw around. So many bosses weak to thunder, and the way Edge works out is you're effectively slapping that thunder weakness on the power of the Murasama, going after those bosses.
When you have such good loot, you see a lunar staff and you say, meh, and throw that to the ground.
No, yeah, Lunar Staff just does not make the cut. Absolutely not. And Tybalt's showing off why I was reluctant regarding this Town of Monsters fight. He's still working on this. It's been a while. Other runners are handling things. If this is the double you say, it's required, and we'll all have to face it sooner or later, but you hate the time loss.
The way that this kind of saves Tybalt here is if this is not only is it like the objective we get here, but it is both the double whammy of the Twin Harp as well as the Baron Key from both the turn-ins. This puts him kind of in a commanding lead, because people are going to leave this, I think, for probably one of the last checks.
Yeah, like there's enormous potential here. It's a bit of a gamble in that way. It's going to take a long time to get through. You are guaranteed at least that one objective, and if there's anything else behind it, then it's absolutely required. And instead of becoming a game of, can I avoid this, it becomes a game of, how long can I put this off and power up and hopefully get through it faster by waiting.
Yeah, that is always the thing there. And with so many different checks open, no check is a bad one to be making. It's just which route is the most efficient versus which one you think you can handle better or that you want to gamble on. And Tybalt does have the name Tybalt the Gambler for a reason. So he does like to gamble really hard, and I'm here for the gambling, to be honest. Like, if fortune favors the bold, to be completely honest, and Free Enterprise kind of embodies that as well.
It's true. There was that race he smoked us all in once by being the only person that was willing to take the early shot at a alt gauntlet at Ogopogo that proved to be hard required.
Yeah, and it's not a fight that people like to take, but speaking of fights people like to take, we do have the dolls here at the top of the Tower of Lower Zai, which the King of All Dragon go, bah, and then dolls fumble, and we get to see, not even there, it's the Tower Key, my mistake. Not even super needed. There's no feel like overkill.
That is the definition of overkill right there. You take the low hit points of the tower, split it up over 6 dolls, and give each of those dolls Bahamut damage. Oof. I don't think the dolls staggered back and destroyed the super cannon room. I think that was just collateral damage.
Yeah, 100%. And we have Xenocat looking like they're going to want to take a quick save and then be joining Tybalt in this fight here against D-Mist, which I'm really excited to see what pans out from this scenario. The Royal Dolls there once. There was an entire room there once. It doesn't exist anymore. Tybalt getting through that fight, very, very well done. And we're going to see what we have. Just the power rope from the checks itself, so it isn't double required, but we do have that objective 2 lit up for him right now. He does have objective 3 lit up for him, so he does take the lead in the objectives, but the time sunk in there. We're going to see how that goes. In Poydrak, we do see a couple of bosses. We have Rubicante being played by Odin tonight, and Baigen sitting in the spot of Dr. Luggage.
And the good part, even if you don't want to take on that D-Mist, which is understandable, the good news about finding him is you don't have to worry about him being hidden somewhere rude, such as the King Queen Eblin spot in front of that. At least one worry off your mind.
Exactly. And Invenerable getting through that guard fight, we're going to see him get his tower key, probably going to push him towards top of tower as well and near Poidrak, whereas Xenocat going through, I believe that was a Moonveil being used on Cecil right there. Oh, no, the 10 cats in Cure 2.
Yeah, Tybalt did Moonveil his way through that fight. He was able to keep Cecil alive and go into Cecil cover. So,
yeah, this is where you would have wanted Rosa to get a little bit more levels so that she could at least get that blink up there. So that's 2 hits that she wouldn't have to, that you wouldn't have to worry about healing, and then he'd heal up the rest in between. Not a bad thing, but still just one of those, like, if you're looking for like the optimal fights kind of thing.
yeah.
This is still going to be very quick. You see 28 damage.
Yeah.
Never mind. I don't think blink is required.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. Edge, start throwing things in this demon's face. You gotta get out of here. Nobody's got time.
We got the Dragoon Spears. Come on, time is up money, and money is what we don't need.
Right? Well, that was a bigger hit there. The 20 was a fluke, apparently. So, but Cecil's getting through for now.
I really hope it just doesn't boop him completely down, because that's going to be... there's the 3 hits. Yeah. Rose is going to do more than enough healing to get him up through this. Plus, with Rydia, the nice thing about her being a kid, she will use... she does have access to Cure 1 if absolutely necessary, but probably would rather use that Sylph Summon. Or actually won't be wanting to use that Sylph Summon because that heals everybody, and you kind of want Cecil to do all the heavy lifting here.
Yeah, the worst thing you could do here is to bring the rest of the party out of critical, and then suddenly Demas starts eating their faces, and it's a bad day.
Look, we gotta feed Demas, okay? Even it needs to eat.
I'm staring at the tracker, trying to figure out what Poidrak got at top of tower, but it looks like it wasn't a key item.
I'm gonna guess yet another power shirt, because those are just everywhere this season.
Valid. Won't bet against that.
NTO saying one of our trackers, it is a defense sword.
Thank you.
So again, nothing special. That's something for Edge to throw. So
Right.
it's kind of special in that aspect. But yeah, so we're gonna get a look at what the tower key reward is as well, and that's gonna put Poidrak into yet another decision of where am I going next. Ooh, Sandra Ruby. Not a required key item, but that is another character. I believe that was one of the twins. So, I mean...
I think the ponytail was on the left, which means it's the right-handed twin, which means it's Orum, I think.
Man, I can never remember the way that works. But if that's true, then that's another white mage. We don't really need the other white mage kid. We kind of have the team that's necessary to do whatever right now. Poidrak taking that free heal, and looks like we are having another bit of convergence down here in the Land of Summon Monsters.
Yeah, the runners that have tried to put off Demist are running out of places to go. Potential hopes that the objectives might be found elsewhere dashed. Where is the pass? Pass objective says there are 3 passes, and none of them are on the moon, and one of them is not underground. I would like to know where they are. Just saying.
I'm going to take a stab here. I'm going to actually say that the pass is hidden in Cave Value.
I didn't think they could be on the moon. I could be wrong. I'm going to vote for Baron Waterway.
The pass can be anywhere. It doesn't. There's 3 different pass locations. So my location, the one that is found first, is going to be in Cave Value. Let's say that.
Okay. Well, I should look at that objective more often. I don't see it.
Antidale.
Antidale dropping that knowledge on us.
All right.
Thank you. But none of them on the moon. Okay. 2 in the underworld, and okay, so 1 does not have to be in the overworld. 1 can be in the overworld, but no more than... Gotcha. Today we all learned, or a lot of us learned. All right, I'm going with Baron Watery. I'm gonna stick with it.
All right, you got the waterway. I'm gonna put 5 cookies, saying that there's one found, not just that there is one found in Sealed Cave.
Okay. Chat's getting their choices as well. We will see.
Meanwhile, we have Xenocat still trucking along here on this fight. Demist. We have some revives going up, as you can see, and Invenerable going to be taking this fight up top here. Again, going to be another one to make very, very short work of this Baigan fight.
Yeah, the power level in these, for all of these parties, is approaching that point where very few things are going to stop you or even really slow you down. You just have to get to the right spot. Speaking of that, what spots do we have left? I see a Luca key that Invenerable has gotten, so that's that Sealed Cave die, which is your guess.
So we have Luca Cave that we haven't gone explored. If you're looking for key item location checks, we have Sealed Cave, we have Demist right now, are the two that are, and Sheila too, are the checks that have not been cached yet. For what we have access to. So either Tybalt is sitting on a great key item here, or Invenerable and Xenocat are sitting on a great key item to give them access to the moon, meaning they'd go away from the Sylph Cave and go away from the underground where the pass could possibly be hiding.
Because we do have K Moonwall, so our pass might not be up there, but we could very easily have both the Baron Key and the Twin Harp up there, making the Moon Harp record.
This is very true. We do have a whole lot of area just kind of unexplored. We keep thinking like, oh, we've gone through so much. Like we're an hour into the seed, and we've kind of like done maybe about 2/3 of the underworld. We've still got Cave Magnus to go through. We still have Barren Waterways. You mentioned we still have Sealed Cave. We still have Sylph Cave to fully loot. Like people have run through there, but no one's really looted it. It's just a whole lot, really, of chests to be going for. A whole bunch of things. But it's still, we're still kind of early in the seed, even though we're fairly deep in it.
Yeah, and this oftentimes with the dark matter hunts, we don't turn on Z fight, and you're kind of getting the idea why now. Is that it takes a fair amount of time to do the looting you need to get your pass and or your dark matters, and packing on the time to that to grind up to Z levels and deal with that fight. Long day.
Absolutely, unless you get kind of lucky and you find some of the stuff as you're going through. Xenocat doing the looting in Sylph Cave finally, so we're gonna get a look to see if there is anything in here. While also checking those chests or skipping a couple of chests, just wanted to grab those first ones in the first area, making a liar of them.
Yeah, racers like to make liars out of comps. It is a thing.
One of two things: we are either liars or we are cursors, and we have not had a caster curse so far tonight.
Or yeah.
Yet.
Hand bonk? Drum roll?
Yeah, it was the Stardust that we knew from earlier, thanks to Inven, but he hadn't gone in and cached in the upper area, wanting to do the more of the finalizing of the underground before, I guess, going back above ground.
Nothing like
Xeno, though, casting right in.
Nothing like a commentator missing a check to create a false sense of suspense.
Indeed, and Xeno going to cash in Demist first, because it doesn't matter what really comes from here. The only thing that'd be like tempting to look at would be package for a second Cecil, but aside from that, like anything you get here, you kind of keeping. So ribbon, not a key item, sadly. So that demist is only kind of semi-required. Kind of just makes it so you don't need to find the pass or don't need to get all 30 of the dark matters. But with 25 dark matters, Xenocat's coming close to the end.
Yeah, and as the locations narrow down, the moon becomes more and more likely, or just some interesting lengthy chain, like maybe what Invenerable is exploring here. Find a Baron key at the bottom of this, and Twin Harp is one of the key items in Baron Castle, something of that nature.
And just to remind everyone, this is our community race. We have 16 runners total, including the ones we have running on here. So we have 12 more that are off the screen, and in this first hour, we still haven't seen anybody finish. So that means that a lot of stuff is buried, but it could be still stuff we're still looking for. So no one finishing doesn't mean that, or these guys not finishing doesn't mean, oh, this is the be-all end-all. We still have a lot more to be seen. Whereas we see Invenerable doing the looting of Sealed Cave, so we're going to see if my call is going to pan out or not.
Well, I dare say if there's a pass in Sealed Cave, it will be the first one found. I'll take it.
Xenocat just finished doing Sheila 2. I did not catch the key item that was there. And Charlock the Butler in chat is Darkness Crystal. So that makes the moon open up for us. Oh, wow. Xenocat with the swag pass, too. The Chocobo Forest.
Nobody bet on the Chocobo Forest.
I forgot that was a place, that Chocobo Forest.
Not only the Chocobo Forest, but the most appropriate one to tuck a pass into, the one right outside of Victoria. Nice. That's huge.
That's kind of gigantic. That's not something I would ever expect to have been there, but that kind of puts, kind of gives Xenocat a pretty commanding lead, unless another one is found really shortly here.
Yeah, Xenocat, they're at 25 Dark Matters, so 5 more to get that done. Got a pass to turn in. Suddenly, Xenocat's close to 4, and then just needs to hunt down a Baron key or a Twin Heart to seal the deal.
Indeed, and with the access to the moon, not only is it what could possibly be behind this evil wall here, or evil wall location, which we're about to see. This is the package, not a key item that we're going to see. So this is a big whammy here in that Loopy Cave.
Yep. Swing and a miss. Moon is looking better and better.
Moon's like hard required, actually.
Yeah, there's no way around it at this point. Everything else cleared up.
Yeah, we're still missing 2 key items, and we found everything down here. So the only... I don't even know what could be hidden down here with... what could be hidden in the overworld. Yeah, no, there's nothing. We have to go to the moon.
Oh, that's it. We're done. I think all of the key item spots have been cleared by one runner or another. And...
Charlotte Butter Lucky Key was the package. Yeah. We didn't get to see the boss because we don't need to care about what bosses wear right now. Ploiderak finishing up his fights, exiting out, and we're going to see where he heads off to next. Where Xenocat doing some more looting and still looking for those final 5 Dark Matters.
It looks like Inven is setting up for the Demist fight, taking some extra steps over the hot lava floor to set up Cecil cover.
Some spicy movement.
Yeah. Definitely giving you a bit of a hot fill.
Whereas Tybalt's about to be burned when he finds out exactly what Rydia's mother was hiding. Nothing really special, just that ribbon, which can be good in certain scenarios, but as of right now, it's just kind of a little bit of a... Not what you want to see. He was kind of betting pretty big on it. whereas Xeno exiting out and most likely going to be heading up to raise that whale real soon, unless he decides he wants to. Unless they decide they want to go and loot Sylph Cave, which still has been mostly untouched.
Yeah, it's a rough spot to loot unless Trap Vanilla is on. There are 7 traps spread amongst there, and you're going to run into them sooner or later, so you're either going to spend time fighting them, as our runners are strong enough to do, or just doing a lot of save scumming and resetting, but either way, the time investment is real.
Speaking of fighting, we have Float cast by Tella on the Poiterac side, and we have Bahamut going Burr and taking care of this first chest here. So Poiterac is looks like he's doing a bit of a commit here. Tybalt, who has the hook now as well, is going to be looting Eblin Cave and going to take a look to see what we have in here.
There's a healthy number of chests in Eblin Cave and the Upper Babel. It's a good spot if you're looking to pick up a few Dark Matters.
And there is Eblin Castle right nearby as well. So it is a very dense section if you want to loot these areas. But the question is, do you go personally deep enough to go through the Upper Zot, or do you not? Because that is still 4 chests that, in theory, all could hold Dark Matters, or there could be a pass there.
If I personally wouldn't, we will see what call Tybalt makes. Like Eblin Cave is the obvious. Like at a minimum, you loot the cave and you exit out and call it a day. Maybe you push through Upper Babel. I'm not sure, even at this power level, that I would want to spend the time on the bosses. Just have to see.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be touching the bosses, but I would be so very tempted to go do Upper Babel if I was in Xeno's position, because you're at those last final 5, and any one that you get could mean that you don't have any more chests, because you're now just looking for Dark Matter. You don't care about anything else. You need those. So if you can get, like, I think we saw 1 or 2 from Tybalt, so this is like the spot where you're kind of really tempted to push through.
And Tybalt has found the Staleman, and goodbye Staleman, have a crystal sword.
And additionally, there's a Eblin Cave pass here. So 2 of our 3 passes have been located, and 2 of them are on the overworld.
I wonder if in the code, if Eblin Cave is considered underworld because it's gated by the
I guess this kind of confirms it according to what the logic that Anthony was posting. So if that means there is another one, that means the other location is in fact in this Sylph Cave. Yeah, there's Tybalt grabbing it right there. That was his second one he grabbed, or first one?
Not sure. He's going to have to go turn it in to actually get the objective.
So,
whenever he's ready.
If that's the case, then yeah, the Eblin Cave is classified as an underground location. Again, as you mentioned, most likely because of the gating of the hook, which is really interesting logic-wise when you think about it. But yeah, the fact that 2 of them are gated behind that is very interesting. Answer a question in chat: are all 5 tasks required? So there are 6 tasks. Because we can only show 5 objectives, Dark Matter, as told by our restreamer, Chloe Vermilion, the way we have the Dark Matter shown off is the counter there. Once you hit the 30 mark, that shows you we can mark that as a completion there, how we're going to, and that'll show that as one of the 5 of 6 objectives to finish.
And Tybalt is our first runner to get a 3rd objective down. Of course, Xenocat can turn that pass in at any time and not feeling rushed. Tybalt is really going to take the run of Zot, hold of a ninja and a white wizard.
Wonder how he's gonna feel about that, considering he had full access to that earlier. That might be something you have to ask him in post game, in his post game interview to see when he saw those characters. Like, oh, I had this for a while. But we have people again clearing up the worlds. We have Invulnerable taking care of that fight for Demonist real quick. Xeno look like they haven't done. Oh yeah, finishing up the Zot check, or sorry, doing lower battle. So we still have that area to go through. Whereas Poidrak is still pushing his way through the Sealed Cave here, or through Sylph Cave. Sorry.
Yeah, and you don't blame the runners for putting off that moon as long as possible. Especially if you don't have your dark matter. Talked about the Sylph Cave being a tough place to find dark matter. Let's talk about that LST. I would not want to be searching for my last bits of dark matter there, let me tell you.
I will remember the last time we had a dark matter hunt. I was searching through the LST for my last ones because I missed some chests on the overworld, and that was a doozy of a run.
It's rough. Dark matter hunt will test your knowledge of where exactly treasure chests are in this world, and all of the cute little loot locations like back of Troy.
Indeed. We don't have adamants on, but I do remember the last time we had something along these lines. It was adamant plus dark matter back behind Troy, and there can be some really cheeky things back there. So yeah, answering question in chat that is partially answered. There is 45 dark matters. You only need to find 30 of them. There are enough on the overworld, the overworld and underworld, so the blue planet, to get it without having to go to the moon. I believe the moon only has between 10 to 15. And it's a varying amount. It's not like, oh, it's a static 10 or a static 15. But you can find every one of your dark matters on the blue planet.
Yeah, Inven might have been the last to be at, or was the last to finish Task 3, but he's going to be the first to go up to this required moon.
Indeed, powering through all those checks. So this is the interesting thing. You're heading to the moon now, Leonhardt. Where are you going to go? Are you going to go top down, or are you going to go middle out, like what most people do for key items?
I'm going to go bottom up, my general rule is if I need one item, I top down it. If I need more than one, I go bottom up, dive, start at the ribbon room, and work.
So I'm a bit of, I guess, a bit weird. I consider that middle out by going ribbon room, because yeah, it's 2 checks right there, but it's still like the quote like heart of the moon that you're coming out of. I guess it's more bottom-ish up. I'd really fight. You can fight me on that, but
that's fair.
You probably will.
If I hear middle out, I think of what Demarine likes to do, which is start at the Crystal Sword Altar for Wyvern, and then move on to Ribbon.
That's a bold play. I've never done Wyvern. No, I consider the middle is in like the chunk, like the chunkiest part of where the key items are. So like that whole like the Plague White Spear area, I consider the middle because that's like with it like where if you're eating like chocolate, it's where the nougat is. Right. So we're gonna get a look at our first character. It's a Moon Goon. I don't think anyone's gonna be taking Kane, my poor boy. Yeah. Poor Mur, he's going to be booted to the tower. We're going to get our first dive into the LST and see if Inven goes loot or if he goes key items first.
Zoe, this is you got to keep an eye on us here on comms, or you just don't know what's going to happen.
Look, I don't have enough vanilla. I got to talk about something
It's
else.
been a depressing lack of vanilla. We've seen what, a vanilla Rosa and Zot, and I think that's really it. Eat our vanilla.
Yeah, that's really about it. I think I've seen Poindrak looking at his key items, going, "Where do I go?" Because there's
Right?
a whole lot of. It's like, what am I missing? The answer is most of your key items, to be completely honest. There's
Yeah.
a lot on this moon.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got like gated behind the moon. We've got at least the Baron key, and maybe the Twin Harp. So it's like one of those are the two big leading key items here, or maybe even Rat Tail. Like there's one of those three key items are guaranteed up here, which can lead us back to Earth, which can chain through everything. We could, in theory, see Pinktail. We could see Spoon, and we could see Adamant up here, because I believe we haven't seen Legend Sword and Legend Sword up here, and then one single key item to take us back down to Earth. And it could be like the last one to be found. We could have a very rude seed roll here.
Definite possibility. And then has made it to the ribbon room. Oh, let's see it. As
That's a Levi.
Oh, he's just going to reset out of it. I'd just be looking for the quick move. If you're feeling a bit behind now, you're hoping to find a free boss that you can get a quick check in rather than have to slog through a fight.
There is still, as we see, 2 free fights there. Because we have Cecil, that Yang is a free fight, in fact. So we have that, and we also have the Dark Imps, as we were talking about earlier. And then we also have the double guard fight. So we have 3 free bosses, 2 that we don't know what they are, still available to us anywhere here. They could be here on the moon. They could be hanging out in Baron. We don't know. We're going to find out soon, though. Yeah, Inven taking the freeze of the fights here. Going to be waiting for the script to go through, which is punch, kick, punch, Q up, kick, and then Cecil hits, and then we have ourselves a finished fight.
And if you sometimes when you zerk up Cecil, you can get the sweet spot and land the ouch just before the second hit fires.
So, did you see how much that poor Palom took in the back row?
I mean, punch mage is gonna punch mages. I say.
If you'd like it to get that was very nice. 3,000 even. Oh man, you'll love to see it.
Oh, hey,
Survey says, "Hey, where's my Eddie?"
I haven't seen an Eddie, but we can throw that in someone's face.
This Leviathan's a really good
Yeah.
for it.
Leviathan with all those big hit points. Yeah, it's just that.
What is it? 36, 37k sitting here. Let's take
32,
quad
maybe?
9 off it.
It's a lot.
42. Yeah, that's a lot of HP you got to chew through. And between that spoon and those dragoon spears, Eddie's going to do a fair amount of damage here.
And yeah, Frith, that's a good point. And it is one of the great things about one game. You might have some rude bosses to worry about, but you don't have to be in that sort of be-all, end-all, how am I dealing with Z mode. It is a nice change of pace.
And Inven having found that Avenger, we do get to see the Avenger Crystal Sword Cecil go and do his thing while Bahamut blaz all over Leviathan. Edge putting up some decent damage too, 3k per. That's a good set of hits. Almost 4k. Actually out damaging our Burr machine.
Very strange. Not sure how I feel about this, but not one.
Here for it.
They're staring me in the face. Oh, Cecil wins that round.
All right, there we go. Cecil's got the high score. That's all that matters.
Oh, and Quack Kid says, "Don't forget about me. Have some 8K from a Lightning 3." Bam.
Rydia here is like, sorry, Bahamut, which still won't do as much as Lit 3. Oh, close though. Let's get that kill shot. Oh, and Poitrak actually opting to not take the ninja. That's fun and cheeky. So he does take the Rosa, gives her that life staff, making her the mage role. Whereas Invenerable does find one of our gating key items in that rat tail. Now, do you sleep a save up here and go quickly check that rat tail and see if there's something? Or what do you do here?
Well, Inven's gonna do exactly what you suggested. I would at least want to check Murasame. Personally, yeah, you can leave a save. But the problem is if Rat Tail gives you something else gated, like, well, anything that's gated is at least an objective. Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, that's the thing. This gate could possibly gate one of our last 3 key items objectives, which this also means that if you find it here, you might as well, like, if you find one of the other key items here, you can kind of leave, like, you can kind of, like, okay, reset back to the moon and know that's what's here. I don't know. This is a lot of information that he can learn. It also means that, okay, the next key item that he finds that is a gated one, he could just, like, grab it on the moon, come back down, return this in, and then know he doesn't have to clear any more bosses on the moon. But this also could say, hey, well, this is what's not on the moon. Again, it's a whole bunch of, like, what ifs now. And we're gonna go here. Ooh, just a Masamune. That's the one time you don't want to see folded steel. Poor Edge, he doesn't get to play with it. But we're going to go to see which location he's going next.
Looking for a grab. Comes up empty. Still needs to find either a pass or all the dark matter too.
So while we were going through and kind of more focusing on Inven, who's treading the newest of the grounds, we've got old ground being tread by Tybalt, who's going to be grabbing himself the darkness crystal. Xenocat is about to be grabbing themselves the disappointment, which is the package, and Poitrak is going back to Sylph Cave, most likely to bonk the Yang or to finish off the last little bits there.
Oh, and we have an Angie antlion down here in the Murasame altar, but Venerable does not fear the counter, which is fair. Typically, the counter is the lesser danger with antlion. It's going to zerk up and go.
Usually, and again, even with the high-ish magic spot here, this is not really what you want to see. But yeah, this is actually one of the spots where I would not be berserking Cecil, because this is a rude spot to bop you in the face.
Yeah, Palom just took barely standing after that shot from Antline, even into the back row.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch Rosa take a decent hit here too. But for the most part, I think it's gonna be okay. Rosa's got Cure 4. I can just throw Cure 4 on the party, and as long as poor Palom... See, I was about to say, as long as Palom doesn't get hit again, everything's gonna be okay. There's the Caster Curse. We've done it all now. But it's okay. More damage, and Antlion goes down. Get some rolls across everybody, and some spells on Rydia, and we're going to take a look, and it is the Baron Key. Do you chase the last of the moon at this point?
No, now I'd leave. I'd be out. I'd go run Baron. I know there's 2 key item checks there and an objective. And maybe, granted, Inven's only at 24 dark matter according to our tracker, but who knows? Maybe looting everything in the waterway and in Baron Castle. Maybe you don't find your Twin Harp, but you find that last bit of dark matter you need, and you can call it a day.
Yeah, looks like he wants to. Looks like Inven wants to go down, and we're gonna go take a look, run right through Baron. Which again, don't really blame him, because it could be everything is here in Baron. Could be nothing's here in Baron.
Yeah, there's a certain commitment to a moon dive. Usually, once I go all the way down to the ribbon room, I generally am going to want to check those 3 spots: ribbon, white spear, and awesome moon, and then maybe consider ducking out. And seems valid here.
Absolutely, and then still needing that last 6 dark matters. Definitely going to be looting everything here. So we may get your check here, watery pass. Actually, no, watery pass can't hold 1 because 2 have to be underground.
Yeah, watery was taken off the table when the pass was found in the Troya.
Indeed. So yeah, we're gonna see what all key or how many dark matters are here. So that's possibly interesting to see there. Zoe's talking about the possibility of Dwarf Castle having one of them, which maybe. No, because yeah. So we found one. We found the one in the secret chest in Tokol's Forge, one in Troya, and one in Eblin. That's where all three have been.
No. The Forge chest was dark matter.
Oh, was that dark matter? You're right. That was.
Yeah, there were 2 dark matters. We're still missing an underground one somewhere. Poydrak, I think, did loot the dwarf castle, starting at the pot and working his way into the castle.
Poydrak is looted everywhere.
Could be an upper battle, I think, is one shot for the pass that hasn't been touched.
But that brings us to the point. I guess that would make it an underground location at that point, because you have the Eblin Cave being classified as an underground location too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's possibly where it's hiding.
Hello, Gauntlet.
This is an alternate boss fight. This is the group that you are way too strong to be dealing with right here. Gonna get some Stardusts off, which do more than enough damage. Riddy is gonna be just taking care of business on everything here. Whereas Xenocat going through this Bahamut fight, and Poydrak gonna get the good/bad news of the that's here in the cave.
And just to let everyone know, still no off-screen finishes. If anyone does come in ahead of our restreamed runners, we'll be the first to let you know.
I'm honestly very excited about this. I kind of want to see an off-stream runner come first, just to be like, man, where was everything? But and to see where they did all their looting. But it's also good just to see everyone like, hey, this is where this is, what's going on. We see Xenocat grabs that X-Cal, resets out of the Bahamut fight, wants to keep everything, and is leaving the Fey March, is finally done here. Probably going to be heading up to join Invenerable on the Moon Dive. I kind of hope Xenocat goes top down. I want to see what's in cave value.
Yeah, let's see if the Twin Harp is up there on the moon, and if there's some options of how that plays out, or if that Baron Key is harder. We want to know.
Also, to be fair, Xeno also only needs 2 more Dark Matters. They could both be here in Eblin Castle.
Sure.
So we could find the last required items here, and then we don't see any more looting, and then see just a quick run through the rest of the seed by them.
And Inven I'm expecting Inven, yes. Given that the objective is the Baron Cast basement and that this is a very powerful party, I think he's just going to go straight over and do all the loots on the way. Give me that dark matter.
Actually, so our trackers is updating us. We do have the 30 Dark Matters on Xenocat's stream. So that is them completing all the looting they need to be doing. So they're going to be turning in the pass for that objective. And then probably turning in the carries for the Dark Matters. And then all they need to do is find this Baron Key.
Yeah. Either the Baron or the Twin Harp. We know where the Baron Key is, and we know there's not much in the way of options for Twin Harp. What do we have? Cave value? Urasame Altar at the top and Crystal Sword Altar.
As well as everything here in Baron, so it could all be gated behind the key.
Yes. That's fair. Could be a hard required Baron. Well, this is a bit of a mess.
Can I have a reroll, please?
I mean, at least the hit points are divided over 3, so if we can get a Bahamut out there, but the magic spell coming off here is not going to be a joke. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that 15.
And that's a mage that's used to defending against magic too, there, folks. But the saving grace is that the Bahamut's going to get triple damage effectively against this spot.
Yeah, Bahamut's probably just going to take out everything. Oh, wow, Cindy actually survives. I expected her to go down pretty quick, too.
She's got the bulk. I think she's got basically 50% of the hit points and a quarter to each of the others. But there wasn't much left.
Exactly, not much left on that sister. I still say my least favorite spot to find them is, in fact, in the a white sphere. So, I mean, still have a good shot at not having the Baron key be hard required. But yeah, my least favorite spot is in fact at Ogopogo. That is my least favorite boss combination. Ogopogo's Mega Sisters.
Oh yeah, that's valid. That spot has a lot of hit points and some powerful magic, and yeah, you're just in for a bad time fighting Mega Sisters.
Followed very closely by Dark Elf, a hard required early Dark Elf behind Hook. That may be my least favorite spot, a Rubicante spot specifically.
Well, it's a military coup in Baron.
Indeed, we have the guards. The Baron guards are taking over for the king. We're going to get a quick little bonk out of these guys. Up, Ridia's running. Well, no more King of Dragons, but Cecil's Avenger just going to go boop.
Yeah, there's more than one way by this power level to deal with
Oh, and Xenocats found our favorite ha ha ha. That's fun. Oh, and Edge is looking in the mirror. Voidrak looting the Chocobo Forest. Is he going to loot that Troya Forest right beside him and check?
Go west, Voidrak,
no.
go for it. You were so close. No.
Just will the runners there. But we have Tybalt and Poiderak kind of converging here. We have them going and raising the Lunar Whale, while we have the Golbez fight dishing out some damage at this location.
Not playing around. Meanwhile, Inven's gonna check Baron Pot. Is he going back to the moon, or is he done here?
Show me moon. Oh, Baron hard required.
Hard required. Had to go through that antlion at Murasame.
Required Ogopogo antlion fight into a full clear of Baron. You can't even just like do one part of it. You have to do both if you didn't get the pass.
That puts... So, Inven's getting close. He still needs to find a pass or 3 more Dark Matters. But
there is the looting of the cave there, so... Oh, and he's gonna loot Evelyn Cave, so that's gonna get him his last ones, or his pass.
Yep.
Baron key item was the harp, so it is 100% required Baron Castle if you don't find the pass or 30 dark matter. Baron Castle is a double gate.
Yep, because it's... The throne was already an objective. The basement throne and the main throne led to another.
Yeah, Inven's gonna get the good news real soon as he gets through, because I know there is not 3 dark matters here, so he can't do a double dip here and have all the key items. As entertaining as that would be. For him to get the last dark matter while he's exploring, he's like, well, I can finish the seed however I want now.
Shame we can't turn the darkness arrows into dark.
It doesn't work like that.
I
but
know. Keep wanting to take Excalibur and say, here, we're just going to say you forged, right? We can just pretend that you forged.
I haven't. Yeah, can you like just say it, man? Come on. I won't. And we have on the bottom half the double Zeromus. Oh, that is actually in cave value. So cave value not going to have any value aside from entertainment here. So we have Inven doing loot. There's his pass. Yep, he sees it. Is he gonna keep looting?
No, he's not.
Yep, there we go.
And he doesn't need to turn in that pass, and you're right next to Cave Magnus to run down and give us music to finish the seed. It's a good way to finish a seed, if you ask me.
Oh yeah, 100%. I kind of do wish that the music would keep running through the end of it, so you could have it go through the credits. But that's not is not to be, unfortunately. And there is objective number 1, and Invenable is going to be running down to do objective number 5, where's Poidrax up on the moon. He's one here to get the good/bad news of Leviathan here. I'm going to be putting that Avenger Cecil to good use as well. Yang's going to be putting on the Thunderclaw that he's got there, and we have some damage coming out here. Again, Bahamut popping out 4K, so his ready is at a lower level. Yang taking that Ice 2 like a boss, though.
Yeah, not what you'd expect. There's the Protect Ring tucked in there somewhere.
Oof, Rosa, low health, eats an Ice 2. And hopefully he should be able to get her up in good time. After this wave, tons of time to recover.
Yeah.
Speaking of recovering, Tybalt gets through the Golbez fight real quickly. White shirt only for his trolls.
What the hope was. And yes, Krista Jack Inven does have the harp. Got it in Baron. On here to knock us out.
Oh, also, I didn't notice that Tybalt has his 30 Dark Matters as well.
And
so he just needs this Baron key.
Yeah, but it is music time. We're going to shut up or we're going to get kicked out of the booth. How appropriate, not only to finish with music, but to finish with the Dark World from A Link to the Past on this Dark Matter hunt. Invenerable, our first place finisher with an official time of 1 hour, 34 minutes, and 23 seconds.
And we are joined by him, GG's Inven on that finish.
Thank you. 252 out of 399 treasures, and I still didn't hit 30 Dark Matters.
Yeah, they were really scattered.
Where is the did you see any of the other 2 passes on the restream, by the way?
One is in the Troya Chocobo Forest.
Spot. That. The Troya.
The one just south of Troya.
Oh, the Chocobo Forest south of Troya.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nasty. A lot of people don't even know that they're there. And the third one who knows.
We're theorizing Upper Babel because it needs to be somewhere underground, and we saw just about everywhere else cleared out of the underground.
Yeah, I never didn't check the 3 Silvera items. I didn't check most of the Chocobo forests. I didn't check Cave Magnus. There could be one in Cave Magnus. I didn't open it.
According to what Antidote posted, 2 of them are underground, and 1 is either overworld or underground.
Gotcha. Okay.
So one of them that means the last one has to be in
underground.
Upper Babel, which is technically an underground area. I didn't know that. I thought that was classified as overworld.
Well, actually, did someone full loot Sylph Cave?
Playerack did.
Oh my gosh, the absolute madman.
Dedication.
If I'd found a cursed ring, I would have considered it. I guess a heroine Robridia can also sweep everything there first turn with the big summons, but at the same time, I'm like, no curse, I'm good. We'll pass on that. But there's something that's just profoundly annoying at ending up with 29 Dark Matters, but there's something very pleasant about finishing the seed by playing the music. So,
Yes.
100%. How do you feel about that hard required Baron, though?
Oh, that was fine. Like, at that point, I just wanted to find one of the 2 items on the moon. Either one. And I'm like, I can dig out a pass from the rest of the ground and enough Dark Matters, I'm sure. Let me just get off the moon, not worry about anything else. But the fact that Baron was hard required, like, that was the thing. When I was leaving the base and I thought, if Twin Harp is here, like, it's worth it to take the time for the cutscenes, because if Twin Harp's here, I don't have to hunt both Dark Matter and Pass. But honestly, it would have probably been faster to find a 30th Dark Matter there, just because that's such the dumbest way to wrap up the seed at 29 Dark Matter. I mean, I'm not gonna look a win in the mouth, but it's just
was hoping.
Because
was hoping you'd be able to do all 6, but he knew it.
Because you're sitting there thinking, I could probably find the 30th faster than I can get to the music. But I'm gonna play the music. I'm not gonna do that to y'all, But just knowing, like, there's a 30th one. There's a 30th one, like, in the next chest I would check. There's probably one in, like, one of the, like, the first checks in, like, the Chocobo Village. There's probably one in the Chocobud. Could have just gotten one there, but no, we got the harp. We've committed. Let's hope that we don't cost ourselves a rank by pursuing it. But no. That was... It was both... That flag set was weird. It was both annoying and fun. It's like, girl, where's my last objective? But at the same time, I don't know. There's something fun about opening 262 chests in a seed. We don't get to do that too terribly often.
No, we do not.
Yeah.
We were saying it's our loot goblin. This was a seed that is very near and dear to my heart. I love me some loot. Speaking of, all that extra loot going to absolutely zero use with S empty. What do you think of that, Aaron?
Well, I didn't mind it. The main thing I was worried about was running out of Star Veils at an inopportune moment. Like, there was a little bit of paranoia there heading in. Like, I tried to save that last one because I hadn't seen Golbez anywhere. So, and I didn't save between the Alt Gauntlet and the Odin Throne. So I'm like, I have a Starveil left, right? Yeah, I had a Starveil left, and Rosa knew Wall by then, and she had a ribbon on, so I knew she wasn't gonna get eaten by the Shadow Dragon. So wasn't too worried about that. And Wyvern being super early was also nice, just to have that concern out of the way. So yeah, I love these. I love S cabins, SMT. I like it when you're forced to scrounge for whatever you're gonna use. So yeah, I enjoy it. I like it. That's all I got.
Yeah, there were a lot of early bosses that could have been really rude later on. We saw that and like, this might not be... You'd be more relieved about this if we had definitely had to go to the moon or get ready for Z, and turn out we had to go to the moon after all, so it did come in handy.
Oh, and I love that I'm going into the Lunar Subterrane thinking, all right, we're all set up for cover strats, and first 2 bosses are Karate with a kick and Leviathan with a wave. I'm like, fine, game, I'll pop a cabin, you jerk. I felt so slick with that. Like, we got the glass hat, we got the back row Cecil, we just came out of Feymarch, he's ready to do all the... And everything's like, you're ready to what?
And then technically we also have Antlion, who does counters that don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you get the Antlion where you could cover, and you're like, whatever, I'm in sword mode. You can't stop.
Yeah, Crystal Sword doing Crystal Sword things. I felt a little bad finding Cecil as late as I did, because that Crystal Sword right out the gate in the Troyan Treasury. And then I just because of how I routed, because my team wasn't going to have any difficulty with anything. Rydia was killing everything too. So I'm like, we can just kind of do routing more based on position than rather what my power level is. And then when I saw that Cecil there, I'm like, oh man, I could have been crystal sorting like 20 minutes ago.
I think Poitrak or Tybalt saw it. No, it was Xeno. Yeah, sorry. Xeno saw that Cecil really right off the hop, and we saw it. We're like, oh yeah, it's all coming together. Because you gave us the crystal sword information, then Xeno gave us the Cecil. It's like, man, this is what we're here for.
All right, Fading Baron N has never cost any runner in any sort of community race or seed of the week.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's Fading Antlion that really never bites anyone ever.
Oh, and also, by the way, can we talk about how rude Lower Babel was this seed? Only one Dark Matter, and both bosses had Bupkis. Like, there's so many chests there, and it was all like, this is all you get. Hope you didn't mind, however much time you just spent in here.
You wanted value? Sorry, this isn't Cave Bahamut.
Exactly. Well,
Enos Warkeyed Tower, not your friend.
I am going to dip out. I really need to stretch my legs and do all that jazz, but I want to thank you both. I'm sure commentary was really fun, especially with how the seed ended up. Shout outs to the behind the scenes team handling, because tracking Dark Matter is so annoying. And Zoe on the restream. Thank you all, and have a good night, y'all.
All right, again, thanks very much, Inven, for joining us. That is our first place winner, 134.23. The only one who also does not get the 30 Dark Matters, according to the trackers for Poitrak, Xeno, and Tybalt. And while we were having our lovely little chat with him, Flurry finishes in second place at 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 23 seconds. GG's to him as well.
Yeah. Proving to be a nice, rude little seed. Not just expected to take a while to pull it off, but like Inven was pointing out, there are just a few plain rude spots, even considering the circumstances. In the meantime, Tybalt has found what we know he needs, that Baron Key, and in fact, he doesn't have to do the Twin Harp because he found a pass and his 30 Dark Matter. He just can go straight to take out the Magic Sisters and wrap it up there.
Yeah, and Poitrak, he found that Baron Key, and he's like, peace, I'm out. So he's going to be doing this, and he's going to be turning into 30 Dark Matters, and then he is going to be the very lucky recipient of that music as well. So we may get the reprise of the Dark World from Legend of Zelda very, very shortly, which is very nice.
It's going to be close between Poitrak and Tybalt, though. Poitrak's already in the heart of Baron, but is going to have to head over. So it's going to have to deal with the Baron cutscene, going to have to fly over to Magnus and wander down to do that cutscene. I take back my comment, of course. I think Tybalt comes in first between the two of them.
Yeah, Tybalt looks like he's set to go to the next level here. He is, he's going to do the Dark Matters first, then probably going to open the pass door and then do Baron, because that'll be the last three. Oh, you're talking to the wrong NPC. Everyone forgets Carrie's upstairs.
And taking
checks
in the telescope.
He's just giving Poitrak some time to catch up, okay?
Yeah, you know what? You don't get to see what's happening in aggro all that often.
This is very true.
Dropping a magma key, occasionally we risk the bosses to check the shops, or he just doesn't get enough love. Good to see a talk and a look in the telescope.
Again, yet another player who doesn't talk to Perry afterwards. Apparently there's some fun dialogue back there, but I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. And Tybalt actually did take that cane too. I'm just seeing his team right now. I'm here for his squad right now. That's actually, you know what? I'm super wishing Tybalt came in first place. I just realized he's got the full vanilla squad.
Vanilla party! Vanilla squad! And Jeeves finish. Third place, 146.02. GG.
Yeah, GG's to him. Again, some great runners finishing first, finishing our top three. I am really excited to see how people go to the next few rounds. It's or who gets to finish up next. Again, we're pretty sure Tybalt's going to be rolling up deep next, because all he has to do is do the gauntlet, do the fight with the Odin location, the Magus Sisters, and then he just has to go turn in the pass. No, he's in the pass door. So yeah, he just needs to do that, and then the Odin spot, and then he's good.
Oidrak, meanwhile, not knowing that the Twin Harp is waiting for him, is still looting for that pass. Not gonna be rewarded. Finally makes his way down to the basement.
Question
No,
from one of our,
I really hope so, because that's going to be an amazing interview if he does.
yeah, if he gets that last second, then he's like, he has the harp, he goes and he's like, I wonder what's here. Oh.
I loot, therefore I need. Okay, now, that's not quite what's on Tybalt's screen, but that's what it is in my head. I'm going.
I like that. We see Poitrak and Tybalt getting through different fights as it is in the same time. Poitrak gets Bahamut goes blah, and that gives him the white spear and the objective, and Tybalt's still working through this multi-gauntlet. Meanwhile, Xeno is getting the mixed news of this Leviathan fight, finishes it off, and is going to be rewarded with the rat tail, which they may take and chase through.
Which we know by now wouldn't be the best move, but understandable. We saw Inven make the same call.
Oh yeah, I'd be very tempted to do the exact same thing. Like you've got a spot where you can again throw a save, exit out. Yeah, exact same situation, because this could be like, hey, this could be what I need. This could get me out of here, or it could be nothing. We know it is nothing, unfortunately, but Xeno doesn't know, and it's a quick little it's a quick check. That's all you need to do left.
Yeah. And especially in Xeno's situation where he's already knocked out both the pass and the dark matter, he's literally just looking for one thing, and he's done. I completely understand making this.
Yeah, one check that could possibly lead to two different key items, as we know, is going to be Pupkiss, because he's got because they've got, I think, just this and Ogo Pogo left, because they did top down.
Yeah, they went top down, so just those are, in fact, the only two things left for them to take care of. And yeah, this little freebie versus either of those fights, sure, I'm here for it.
Unfortunately, rolling at the 50-50 and is not going to be getting that finish, not getting the roll the way they want. A little unfortunate, but I mean, as it is.
Oh, we're getting Oidrak's getting that twin harp. Has the good news. On the way over, take out Cave Magnus. After turning in some.
I was gonna say, almost forgot his dark matters.
Now turn in the dark matter. In the meantime, Bahamut doing Bahamut things to Magic Sisters. That'll be the very last thing Tybalt needs. Tybalt can wrap up here in the basement.
Indeed. And while it is a little bit of lag on his side here, while he does finish that last fight, that is him coming in with official finish of 148.15. We're going to see if we can get him in for an interview as well, and see how he feels about that very well seed. So give your GGs to him. And additionally, while we were finishing that up, we have a Stone Dingley finishing in 5th place at 1 hour, 49 minutes, and 44 seconds. GGs to him as well.
Yeah. Congratulations to both of them, finding their way through all of these objectives, getting it done. Oidrak not going to be too far behind. Oh.
Oh, what was in the choke, but I looked away for a moment.
In the choke of foot was that last dark matter that Inven was theorizing.
Oh, poor Inven. Yeah, it was right there.
Nice touch, Poydrak.
And we are joined by Tybalt. GG's on your 4th place
Thank you.
finish. So that was a really rough seed as an overall for you, the way you did a lot of your pathing. But how do you feel about the way you
I
ran it,
think I
though?
did pretty good. I know my Demas fight was a little slower than it should have been, but it was a free fight. That was my thing. It's like, it may take me 15 minutes, but I'm gonna get through it one way or another. There's no way around it.
It was your gambling nature. It was going to take you a while, but it could have paid off so much more than it did. It was
Oh
pretty
yeah.
objective, and you have the summon check and the Demas. If either of those come up with any kind of value, then you're off to a huge lead.
And when I kept getting closer and closer to the 30 dark matters, I'm like, I gotta keep going. So close.
So how did you feel after you did Demas and all the stuff underground, and then you come up above ground and there's an Edge and a Rosa waiting for you in
I'm like,
Zot?
oh, I should have come to Zot sooner, but I mean, Pale Dam's easy enough as it is in that spot, but still, you're like going underground, more loot opportunities, more possible getting levels. And since at that time I had a base level C soul, the biggest thing I needed for him was some levels with that crystal sword.
Yeah, Zod, as it turned out, had so much of the value. The Edge, the Rosa, you get the pan. If you follow the pan all the way through, you get that Darkness Crystal. That hard-wired Baron Key.
I saw in the spoiler log the Twin Harp was at the was at the throne.
Right there in the basement. You didn't have to do that. You were done at the basement. You didn't have to do Baron Castle cutscene, Twin Harp cutscene. You're done.
That was my thought when I got to 30 was, I'm going to turn it in first, because once I do Odin spot, it's done. I don't have to leave, it's just done.
Exactly.
You also had us learn something kind of interesting today, Tybalt. The Evelyn Cave is classified as an underground area because, according to Anthedale, the pass can only be 2 are underground and 1 is either above ground or underground. The one that was above ground is actually in the Troya Chocobo Forest, just south of Troya. So there's 1 right there, and that means the one in Evelyn Cave was there, and we're theorizing that the other one is actually in Upper Babel, because the upper part of Babel, because no one found anything else. This is again according to Wiki.
I cleared all of Babel and Zot. I cleared both towers.
Upper Babel, not Lower Babel.
Oh, okay, yeah. The hook route, yep.
Now the hook route part of Babel.
Yeah, I didn't go that far, and I just got to the character and left.
You got your pass. He's got.
Yeah, I saw the pass. I'm like, oh, cool. Piece of candy. Piece of candy. And then, of course, having those early wipes was not the greatest thing, but it happens. But when I found that crystal sword in the Troya treasury, I'm like, there's a Cecil in the inn. I want him now.
Right? Look over.
And then finding almost every single summon for Rydia and getting the Sylph off at the start.
For so much power, it's just a matter of, okay, now I just gotta pick and choose my spots.
And the one thing with the Dark Matter is you're always gonna run into that inventory boss, no matter what.
Yeah, and you had no reason to sell anything.
Yeah, no. No reason to sell anything because I didn't need to buy anything. But I will say, I ended with a vanilla party, so.
I was very happy. I noticed that. I'm like, hey, wait a minute.
So much because there was a distressing lack of vanilla in the seed. Like, the only vanilla was Rinzot.
Yeah.
So what were your thoughts overall about this flag set and the seed? And are we going to see you for the Salty Run Back on Friday?
I don't know if I'll be there for the Salty Run Back. I think I've got some plans, but I actually quite like this. You know, I'm always one to. I know during normal runs I loot too much, and in this I kind of get rewarded for looting.
Ah, yes, the fellow loot goblin. We're here for this. High five, buddy.
I love my loots. I need it.
We saw by your character naming convention.
I don't need loot. I don't need loot. I need it.
All right, so 4th place overall. You showed us. You were the first one to get the Eblin Cave pass to, which is really good. And you showed us again the Moonveil strats against D-Mist, making it a bit of a easier fight and a different version of the cover strats. So again, GG's. Any final thoughts about the seed?
No, not really. In case you're wondering, the reason I switched the Crystal Sword off of D-Mist is D-Mist is resistant to the Crystal Sword.
Oh yeah, the holy resistance.
I got nothing else.
All right. Thank you for
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for the commentary, both Commander and Dathis, and Zoe with the restreaming, and Nth with the tracking. We couldn't do this show without you. Have a good night.
You as well, Tybalt. Okay, again, Tybalt, 4th place runner. Overall, 2nd place on the restream. Again, great runner. Make sure you guys give these guys a follow. And while we were doing that, we had Bad Karma finish in 6th place with 1 hour 53 minutes and 3 seconds. Rowdy Roddy Sniper, 7th place, 1 hour 54 minutes and 25 seconds. And Hoydrak finishing 8th place, 1 hour 54 minutes and 51 seconds. We were kind of talking over the music there. I do feel a little bit bad with the reprise, but was giving us a little bit of extra music. We kind of held off on his place. I think he probably got 6th or 7th, but 8th place and a hero in our hearts. And additionally, Jay Brun TR with 9th place at 1 hour 57 minutes and 31 seconds. You guys, get your GGs out for those guys. They're doing one heck of a set of runs here. And it looks like we are going to get joined by Poydrak shortly. Speaking of it is, GG's Poydrak on your 8th place finish.
Really? Okay. I'll take it, I suppose.
As you sat there on the music for a little bit for us, which we appreciate.
Well, likely the other people in front of us sort of just mashed their way through it, so I thought I'd just leave it there for a little bit, just let everyone soak in the Zelda 3.
And we appreciate it. That's actually where Inven finished as well. He finished on music. He was at 29 Dark Matter, and I was watching you, and I saw you move right beside it, right beside the crystal doors at Dark Matter. I'm like, oh, that's funny. But yeah, there's a lot on the way there.
Yeah, supposedly there's a patch somewhere, but I'm going to guess either Eblin Cave or 2 in Upper Babel.
Eblin Cave, yes. Upper Babel is a current thought as well. There is actually one you kind of passed this one. The Chocobo Forest south of Troya, like literally right south of it, that you could go to.
I checked all of them but that one.
I forgot about it. Zeno showed him like, wait, that's a Chocobo Forest?
Yeah.
Well, if you're surprised about that being a Chocobo Forest, let me tell you about a meta objective on Saturday. But that's another story.
Well, if you want, I could go back into the seed and get 104 more chests because I got 295 of them.
You are the current high score chest counter. Tybalt actually got the same amount of chests as Inven at 242. That was very entertaining. But yeah, you definitely won in my heart by getting all those chests.
Yeah, I just didn't reset out of anything and didn't actually want anything in them since Crystal Sword Cecil, Young, Catclaw, Rydia, Bahamut, and Leviathan and Sylph from the very get-go. Yeah, didn't need anything. It's just where the heck was our objectives? And as I always say and never do, when in doubt, go to the Ogopogo spot.
That was the move.
So you're talking about all these characters with this high tier gear. So you've got Mirasame. You've got a pair of Mirasames in your inventory. You get that edge from Zot, and you actually turn him down in favor of that Yang. What made you choose the edge over the Yang, or the Yang over the edge?
I actually prefer edge. I prefer Yang. Sorry, if things get a bit more hairy later down the line. Edge is good. He's quick and everything, and does pack a fair punch with the swords that I had. But Young, I just prefer Young. I just feel he does more later. And really, with Cecil doing what he could do, there wasn't really any need for another damage dealer, especially with Bahamut, with Palom getting up in his spells as well. So, heck, even Teller did his fair share before I swapped him out for Rosa.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone loves talking about the Quack Kid, but I think this is a time to make Rydia shine because everyone leaves her down as an anchor, but normally, but in this race, everyone had left her up and had those summons just kind of pound away at bosses, getting Leviathan, getting Bahamut, getting Sylph. You were kind of given everything right off the bat to make her shine, and you were again another one to show up. How do you feel about letting Rydia kind of do her thing as opposed to just keep her as slingshot fodder?
I actually prefer it. Rydia, she gets a whole lot of flack for not having high experience and sort of ability. There's a lot of you've got to go a long way to get nuke, but her versatility, especially in this particular seed, is actually that she can do a bit of everything. Heroine robe, make her into a damage dealer, give her a decent heck. The power staff at the start, the samurai bow, any arrow. Once she gets virus and gets up in the levels a little bit more, and if you find a decent summon for her, she can switch over to magic. Her versatility is a lot more taken for granted than I think it should be. Especially at the start of this, where really Palom, yeah, one fight on Palom will get him his tier 2 spells, but you don't really have a lot of physical punch in that team with Palom, Teller, and Rydia. That Heroine Robe just changed that completely because I suddenly had the physical punch that I needed to get through some of the bosses later.
Yeah, I completely support your Rydia hype. Like you're saying, just depending on what you find, you can go a lot of different ways with her. She does not get enough
love. Yes, she has a lot of weaknesses, but she has strengths as well. Just like everyone else, every character in this game is overpowered in some way. You just need to exploit those sorts of abilities that they have. So, if you can, if the character fits, go for it. Go with it.
I was gonna say, is Rydia a cat? If she fits, she sits.
Yes,
line.
I was wanting to say that.
If she fits, she sits in your front line.
Or the back line. But yeah, I'm gonna head out. I believe we've got Xenocat waiting to come on in and finish up your restream. But have a good evening, everyone, and see you all again probably very soon.
Indeed. Again, good showing. GG's on 8th place and giving us that nice long reprise of music at the end.
Some quick finish announcements while Xenocat's making their way in. Dragus, 10th, 158.36. Xenocat, 11th, 201.03. And Gambit in 12th with 203.39. GG's all around.
Indeed, GG's. This was a run that eventually funneled to the same spot at the end. We were like, oh, maybe we'll have some people go out, but no. It's all through Baron in the end. We start here, we end here, essentially, and get all the fun stuff. Great run overall. Whole lot of loot. Again, the only disappointment, we don't know whose butt was kind of sitting back there. It could be a really hidden new Zeroma Z-Sprite. It could be one of the favorite classics. Who knows? But the good thing is we did have some pretty classic and solid music in, again, The Legend of Zelda, as was shown off by two of our runners, and just again a great rendition done in the heart by Calm Lamity.
And they've come in. Hello, Xenacat. GG.
Thank you.
So, the seed took us all for a ride. You kind of know with the dark matter hunt and so many other objectives that you're going to be in for a long time and hopefully a good time, even without a Z fight. But even so, this was a bit much.
Yeah, it didn't help that I last locationed that Baron key, but
You weren't the only one.
Yeah, it was. But the start of the seed. Let's talk about that. So you start off. You're given the Earth Crystal. You jump right to Baron. You see that Cecil sitting in Baron, and you're like, oh, well, maybe we'll come back for you later. And you go and you loot that Troya treasury, and you see the Crystal Sword with the power shirt just right there. How do you feel about that start right off the hop?
well, I didn't do touch treasury for a little while, but I was very excited to see that crystal sword because I think by the time I got to the treasury, I'd already gotten my Cecil online. So that was
That still works. And there were just a lot of choices early on. So many different places to go, especially knowing that you're not just chasing key items, but you're also trying to loot for pass and dark matter. There was a lot of divergence and convergence on the stream that was fun to watch.
Yeah, I tried to basically early on I was like, let's focus on the dark matter hunt, just make sure I loot a bunch of places that I know are kind of out of the way that I'm not going to go to later. Just make sure I get all that loot done because I can get dark matters and I can also get good. But then it kind of turned into I got the last dark matter out of Ebline Castle and then I'm like, now I have to scour the entire moon looking for either Baron.
Well, that thoroughness did help. You were the only one on stream to find that fabled overworld pass tucked in the cheekiest of spots.
I forgot that was in Chocobo
That-
Forest, to be honest.
I've had some practice with dark matter hunts, and generally when I do dark matter hunts, I'm not looting anything in the moon. I generally don't do much in Stealth Cave. I did one cheeky check this seed, which did pay off, but generally I stick to overworld, underworld, things tending towards areas that aren't trapped. Let me skip Cave Eblan.
Makes all kinds of sense.
So you're going through the checks, you're going through the underworld, you see Bahamut, and you see the D-Mist at the King of Summon Monsters, the very punchy spot. How are you feeling? You got the Cecil to do the back row tanking. Were you feeling that Cecil was going to be taking next to no damage, or were you kind of still a little bit nervous, even with the high armor he holds?
I was a little bit nervous just because that spot is so punchy and it was very low level, but I figured I have a white shirt and a life staff on my Rosa. I'll be fine. As long as he doesn't die before she can heal him, we'll be fine with just Cure 2s.
So that's asking the other runners. I'm going to ask you. So you have S empty. You have no way of refilling, say, your life potions and such like that. Was that kind of a concern for you? Were you like a little nervous, or how did you feel about the supply of items you had?
I've done a few practice seeds leading up to this race, so I know how to manage my items, which is why I didn't keep that Bahamut. I used my last Star Veil on the Bahamut fight and was like, nope, I need that Star Veil back. X-Cal is not worth it, but the life staff I was so happy to see early on because that basically meant I have infinity life potions as long as I only use them.
And as long as that caster doesn't die.
Yeah, that's what the starting kit life pots were for. They were for reviving my white mage.
Yep. Well, it was a good run. You're going to be here for the salty run back on the 25th on Friday? Or is that like a day you have some plans or something?
I don't usually do the Friday night community races. I might this week, because I really like not having to shop. Honestly, not shopping is amazing.
Right?
I love looting, so I might. Shop checks are so annoying, and I hate doing them. So this flag set is like my favorite combination of treasure and.
It's got a little bit of something for everyone. You got any other closing comments for Zeno Leonhard, or any other questions?
No, just general closing. If you had any last thoughts about the seed that we didn't manage to cover?
I forgot the Alt Gauntlet was at Vigan, and when I saw it, I just face palmed, and I was very frustrated by that. I just kind of out the slowest possible boss that could have been.
Yeah, it was. Everyone gave us that little look. Is like, yep, Alt Gauntlet. Here we go. Again, GG's on your finish. Thanks for letting us restream you, and excited to see you for the Friday night run back. Again, Xenocat 823543, 11th place finisher, 2 hours, 1 minute, 3 seconds. GG's to them. Well, the last finishes that we're going to announce here: Kinda Nerdy Housewife 13th place, Sotez 14th, Gundam Pilot Spaz at 15th, and Microcores at 16th. And what we're going to do is that's going to be all we wrote from here, because we don't want to keep Zoe, Entho, and Aegis going longer. I mean, we can just gab for hours, Leonhard, but I don't think anybody wants to hear us anymore. So what we are in fact going to do is we are going to go and say hello to Mick Bain, who's running the seed. Just wasn't one of our racers, so Bain 6666. Show them a whole bunch of love, and stick around and keep an eye on them. And we hope to see you back here for the Friday night Salty Run Back,
As well as the other races during the week. Take a quick look at the calendar, see what's on Restream. Lots of free enterprise action.